So right now, there's about £300 billion sitting in current accounts across the UK earning zero interest. And the mad thing is, that's our money, and it's become cheap funding for the banks to run their business and make billions. Now, I'm not saying this to point the finger at the banks. I'm saying it because once you understand what's actually happening, you can make a better decision with your own cash. So allow me to break this down, show you how it works, and offer a solution as well. To understand this and why this matters, we need to ask a series of questions, perhaps the kind that we've not asked before. Like, when you put £1,000 into your account, what actually happens to it? On the bank side, is that money an asset, or is that something that they owe you as a liability? And if it is something that they owe you, then why do they value it so much? Now, here's a simple way to look at it that works in my head. Think of customer deposits like cash in a shop till. To us, it's just money in a till. To the shop, though, it's working capital, and the banks are exactly the same. When we leave money in a current account, it shows up as a customer deposit that the bank owes us on demand, but in reality, that pool of deposits is their cheapest funding. They keep enough for float so that they can cover withdrawals, but the rest of the money they deploy to fund lending, mortgages, the whole machine. So while we get zero on our current account balances, the money is being put to work by the bank, generating a return for them and nothing for us. And here's a prime example. So in 2024, the banks issued roughly £246 billion in new mortgages, and that was at mortgage rates in the mid fours. That works out at around £11 billion a year in interest on that lending alone. And that's just one line of business that they fund using our deposits. Now that you know this, I think the most obvious question is, well, what does it actually cost us? So let's try and make this real. If you have, say, £5,000 sitting in a current account most month and you could get a 4% return on an easy access saver, that's about £200 a year that you're leaving on the table. Now, don't get me wrong, that's not life-changing money, but it's not nothing either. £200 a year could be part of a household bill. It could be part of the food shop. It could be money in the fuel tank. It could be even the start of an emergency fund. And if the idle balance is, say, £10,000, then that's £400 a year. And again, this is not get rich quick money, but it's the kind of money that makes the difference between, you are having a really tight month and we have a little bit of breathing room. And I think that's why this really, really matters and why it should be something that we're paying attention to. It's not just that the banks aren't paying interest on current accounts, it's that we're using our current accounts in a transactional fashion, and the cash that sits there by default is the bit that isn't working for us. And here's the irony. Most of us will end up paying interest on things like credit cards and overdrafts because life gets busy and we just don't focus on shopping around or looking for alternatives that will pay us an interest, even if it is in a current account. Now, I know there will be people still watching this thinking, why should I care? We need the banks, they do what they want, so what's the alternative? And that's what I'm going to get onto next, because analysis recently found that around 88% of current accounts that are in credit pay no interest. And the truth is, it will be easy to aim this at the banks, but current accounts were never designed to pay interest. Current accounts were designed to facilitate transactions. The cost shows up when money that is meant to be in motion turns into money that is parked. So the obvious solution is to find a savings account that will pay you a higher rate of interest, or find a current account that will pay you a decent interest rate. And that's what I've done. Now, as you know, I recently opened an account with iFast Global Bank for my business and my personal accounts. And it actually fits what we're talking about here today, because if you're someone who keeps a decent balance in your current account and you want to earn interest without losing access, then iFast Global Bank is definitely worthwhile taking a look at. Now, they offer a multi-currency current account that lets you hold 9 currencies in one place. So we're talking GBP, USD, Euro, the Hong Kong dollar, Japanese yen, Swiss franc, and AED if you're out here in Dubai. Now, actually, I'm going to Japan in March, so it's going to be perfect for my spending there. But it means you can save, spend, and send money all from one place. Now you can open this account from abroad, but the debit card is currently only available to UK residents. And on rates, they are currently advertising, and these are really, really good in my opinion, a 2.65% AER variable on GBP balances, a 2.8% AER variable on dirham balances out here in Dubai, and a 2.25% AER variable on USD balances. Now, rates can change, so always check the latest on their site or in their app. But that gives you a little sense of what it's designed to do, which is basically make idle cash less idle. They also offer 3 different savings types of accounts depending on what you need. So they have a fixed term deposit, which is currently offering 4% AER on GBP, 4% AER on USD, and a 3.5% AER on AED, which is dirhams out here in Dubai. They have a flexible ISA for UK residents with a valid national insurance number. It's worthwhile checking the current rate and eligibility. And lastly, they offer a notice deposit accounts with really, really good rates as well. So you can choose flexibility or you can choose structure depending on what job your money is doing. Now, if you send money internationally, they also support cross-border payments in those 9 currencies and international payments to 160 plus countries globally. And that supports 30 plus currencies as a whole. Now, they are running a promotion where you can get £100 when you switch your salary payment to your iFast current account. For that, your first salary payment needs to hit them by the 30th of April 2026, and you must have 3 salaries hit your account by June 30th of 2026. Now, you can get an additional £100 if you refer 3 friends who do exactly the same. Now, with this, terms and conditions do apply, but I think it's a decent incentive if you were considering switching from your current bank anyway. Now, just on regulation, which is the final bit, protection is really, really important. iFast Global is a UK bank regulated by the FCA and authorized by the FCA and the PRA, which are the main regulatory bodies that they have to answer to. And it's worthwhile noting that all eligible deposits for customers are covered by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme up to £120,000. If you want to check them out, I'm going to leave a link to them down below in the comments and in the description. So let's bring this back to us and what actually happens in the real world. And for me, when I think about this, I do regard my current account as a pen, as a storage pen specifically for money that is going to go out transactionally on bills. But the truth is, sometimes I do hold more than I should in my current account. And in an ideal world, we would all have a certain amount of money that's in our current account to cover bills, then anything above that gets swept into a savings account. But what I often find for me is that sometimes it's an inconvenience to transfer money from a savings account back into my current account on occasion, particularly if you have Wi-Fi issues or the tech isn't working. Sometimes it's nice to have it there in the current account. And so I think the best halfway house is finding a current account that will pay you interest, and then still having your savings and your investment vehicles to help your money grow for the long term. Because why should the banks have almost £300 billion at their disposal, which is effectively our money, to fund their business, and we get nothing from it? That's just my way of thinking about things. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. So if you did get value from this video, please leave a comment and don't forget to smash the like button. It just signals to the YouTube algorithm that you got benefit from what we've spoken about today. And if you are finding me for the first time, I'd really appreciate it if you consider becoming a subscriber here. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by April. I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.